I've been a long-time Sonic fan since I was a kid, and something I thought the current era, the Colors era, was in need of was better writing and more adventure-style stories. Lucky for me, IDW swung in with exactly what I was looking for. With issue 50 getting closer, I thought it'd be fun to narrow down my top 10 favorite moments that happened in the IDW comic and its spin-offs so far. Also, spoilers, duh. So if you haven't read the comics yet by IDW, stop the video, do yourself a favor, and binge through these books. Getting down to just the top 10 was super hard for me, so before we count down, here's some honorable mentions I'd like to talk about. The Resistance vs. Metal Overlord. I love Sonic's supporting cast, and I fucking love Metal Sonic. So seeing the comic make use of both of these underused aspects of the series I love so much filled me with nostalgia and hype. Seeing them combo the Robo Kaiju and Knuckles of all people being the one to save the day, chef's kiss. Whisper's backstory. Giving Whisper the Wolf a tragic backstory was a great call by the IDW team and helped cement Whisper as a fully realized character for this franchise. No one else besides Shadow really has the loss of loved ones as part of their character like she does. So this felt like a good return to that darker style Sonic games used to be proud of. Her team are also all just references to Metal Gear Solid, which is a very nice addition. Also, Shadow Android's callback. Very based. And the last honorable mention goes to something I appreciate the comic for doing. The Deadly Six terrorizing the world with Zombot armies. If you want a direct example of how well this comic succeeds if the games have been failing with the writing, look at the Deadly Six. This is what they should have been from the start. Sadistic demons that actually feel like menaces instead of stand-in villains of the week like they kind of feel in the games. More of this style for Zavok and the others, please, Sega? Please? Anyway, now for the actual top 10. Expect a lot of bias, cause it's, a personal list and shit. Number 10 is Sonic and Knuckles vs. Ruff and Tumble. IDW's initial slow burn of reintroducing the supporting cast gave us a lot of one-on-one time with Sonic and his friend of the issue. Issue 3 was all about him and Knuckles teaming up to take on new villain duo Ruff and Tumble with their Team Rocket stick. Pitting Sonic and Knuckles against the Skunk Twins not only works great as a debut for these two lovable assholes, but it sets up great rapport and chemistry between these two former rivals as well. After a long time of Sega basically ignoring the fact that Sonic and Knuckles used to be rivals, this was like a breath of fresh air into their relationship. They felt like equals in the fight and bounced off one another and the Skunks excellently. The twins do their goofy rhyme gimmick, Sonic tries to hold in his laughter at how ridiculous they are, and meanwhile, Knuckles, instead of saying something stupid, like past interpretations portrayed him, plays a straight man of sorts to balance the dynamic instead. He takes their rehearsed rhyming speech as a warning sign to how coordinated Ruff and Tumble are, which just makes Sonic crack up in a cute little moment between these two bros. Really hoping we can get another team up between them again sometime soon. Number 9 is Metal Sonic realizing he isn't the real Sonic. As a lifelong Metal Sonic simp, this near visual only chapter in the 2020 annual was an amazing treat to read. All his life, or programming I guess, Metal has been convinced he is the one true Sonic. But, thanks to the Metal virus Eggman made, and seeing Sonic infected with it, Metal wonders all without a single bit of dialogue if he can be infected as well. Dipping his finger into pure Metal virus goo, he takes it out and watches as it drips off of him instead of spreading and infecting him. Watching him figure out and accept that all this time he was the imitation of Sonic felt like a beautiful payoff to all his years as a character, and a fantastic new starting point as well for what's next in store of my favorite Sonic villain. Number 8, Eggman's Return. When Eggman first showed up as Mr. Tinker in the IDW series, this friendly, happy fixer who loved to make kids smile, it seemed too good to last. Sonic even convinced his friends to leave Mr. Tinker be, thinking the world was better off with Eggman as Mr. Tinker than locking up this friendly old man. Until, Starline showed up, abducted Mr. Tinker, and began trying to force Eggman back out. Nothing Starline did could bring the evil doctor back though, but leave it to the Chad Metal Sonic returning to his base after his most recent defeat at the hands of the Resistance to bring Eggman out of the Tinker. All it took was one look at his greatest creation, and everything came rushing back to the doctor. We even get a surprisingly cute and wholesome little flashback of Eggman repairing Metal. He asks if he landed any hits on Sonic, and Metal gives him a thumbs up, and Eggman just says, "Attaboy!" It's so good. It all capping off with the Doctor just immediately looking pissed off is like the final topping to this cake of a scene. For my 7th top IDW moment, I went with Vector's sacrifice. During the Zombot arc's non-stop escalation, we of course had to go with the zombie outbreak classic trope of an infected sneaking in with the healthy civilians. While that was going on at Restoration HQ, Vector and SBO rolled in with the Zombot Charmy in a little pod, hoping to revert him to normal somehow. Vector even chews out Gameroll for wanting to kick Charmy out, telling the robot the Chaotix don't abandon each other. As shit hits the fan, Charmy breaks out and helps the Zombots storm the facility. Even Cream's mom, Vanilla, gets infected in the chaos. Eventually the Zombots, especially Charmy, are closing in on the few uninfected people left inside the base. Charmy manages to squeeze through the door to get to them, and Vector takes action. He grabs hold of his little buddy and starts rushing for the door, turning around and telling SBO, "You're head detective now," with a smile, before charging into the Zombot horde and shutting the door behind him to buy time for his friends to escape. Vector kept true to his word of not abandoning Charmy, and in a way redeemed himself from bringing him into the HQ. SBO falling to his knees in shock, having now watched both his closest friends get infected, is the extra gut punch we really needed to sell the weight of the scene. Number 6. Eggman speaks to Starline about how he has to kill Sonic. After Starline's crazy close battle with Sonic and Silver, Eggman yoinks Starline back and slams him against the wall, furious. Starline is totally shocked about why Eggman is so upset about how close he came to killing Sonic for good. So of course the Doctor goes off, making it clear he could do a strategy like Starline did, or even carpet bombing Sonic and his friends. Or hell, just destroy the planet if he wanted to. But none of that is how he wants to end Sonic. He wants to utterly defeat Sonic 1v1. He wants Sonic on his knees beaten before him in direct combat. He wants to gloat over his victory before taking his arch enemy's life. It isn't enough for Eggman to end Sonic. He has to pulverize him without any doubt of his victory being unearned. This added layer to their dynamic and gave me an even higher interest and appreciation for this arch rivalry between our hero and his main foe. Legit, never expected Eggman of all people to get depth like this, but god does it work. Number 5. Neometal Sonic versus Sonic. I think it's super clear at this point I fucking love Metal Sonic. So when it's revealed that he's not only been leading the Eggman Empire in his creator's absence, but is also in his powered up Neometal form from Sonic Heroes, I was crazy hype. Hell, I'm pretty positive this first arc in the IDW comics is what bumped up Metal Sonic to my favorite Sonic villain, period. He was already super high up there for me, but giving him this spotlight and making him this absolute nigh unstoppable nightmare sealed the deal. Not only does he make his debut in style with an incredible foreboding presence right away, but he proceeds to mollywop Sonic and would have most definitely killed him if Tails hadn't bailed him out at the last second. Also, Sonic's little nod to his world as Metal dangles him off the egg carrier, Kino. And holy shit, the art through this issue might be the best in the whole series thus far. Like, the pages supplied here by the king, Adam Bryce Thomas, in this issue easily cement him as a personal favorite artist of mine. Thomas's art really sells just how in control Metal is during this fight, and the sense of danger Sonic is in as he desperately tries to fight back. It legit comes off like Sonic is just barely surviving in some panels, as he even stops trying to fight Metal directly and focuses on his support so Tails and him can escape. We even get Metal claiming he is the one true Sonic, making it clear the blue blur was totally outclassed by the Egg Empire's leader, which just really helped serve as additional build-up to his later revelation of being a robot I talked about in number 9. Seriously though, easily the best villain intro I've seen for a Sonic series, not just in this one, but the whole franchise itself. Number 4. Why Amy loves Sonic. Picking Amy as the second friend to reintroduce into the series was a good call, especially considering she's practically the secondary protagonist of the comic at this point. After what feels like the average Sonic and Amy encounter, things take a different turn after we see them combo together so naturally and efficiently against the Badniks. We get to see how well Amy has matured, and more importantly, Sonic gets to see it. Amy spends the whole sequence not pining for him to run off and get married together, but asking him to join the resistance Saiyans under her and Knuckles' command instead. He refuses again and again because he can't be chained down to just one spot. He's free, like the Knight of the Wind we all know him as. This is when we get a clear-cut answer as to why Amy loves him so deeply. She gives up on asking him to enlist, and instead encourages him to go do his own thing. He's free and he's always himself, and that's why she loves him. Amy telling Sonic to be free and go where he thinks he's needed even catches him off guard. And we basically get the strongest implication yet that he returns her feelings in some way when he nervously tells her she's free to come along with him if she wants. Of course she can't thanks to her responsibility in the Resistance, but the moment isn't hampered in any way as this serves as wonderful development for Amy. As someone who's always had Amy as a favorite character since I was a kid, hell, I had a massive crush on her growing up, and I'm positive she's my primary influence for the type of girls I like. This whole issue and that specific moment at the end felt like something I'd been needing for years, and the satisfaction of finally having it, in issue 2 no less as well, is what sold me on this being the Sonic series I've been wanting for years now. Number 3. Gameroll protects Cream from Xena and stays with her. Ian Flynn was out on a mission to put Cream through as much pain and trauma as possible during the Zombot arc. During all this turmoil, however, Cream was always right by her robot bodyguard Gameroll. Gameroll himself spends the entire arc doing everything he can to protect Cream and even follows her request to not kill the Zombots because they're still people after all who just need a cure. This culminates in their clutch moment of the arc when they fight Xena, and the Zeddy turns Gameroll against Cream. Xena begins to torment Cream for fun since Gameroll is now under her control. Being the lad that he is, Gameroll destroys the part of his build that allows Xena to control him and fights back. He saves Cream and quite easily overpowers Xena, tossing her into the Zombot herd to finish her off in a very satisfying sequence of kicking ass and quickly resumes his guarding of Cream. It looks like he succeeds in saving her, they even got the Chaos Emerald, but Cream was still infected in the process. She can't catch a fucking break. Cream tells Gameroll to leave her. It's too dangerous to bring her back to the others. Gameroll disobeys this order, opting to instead toss the Chaos Emerald through the warp gate and scoops up Cream into his arms. He takes her to the skies and assures her he isn't going to leave her alone. He plans to stay right by her side until Sonic and the others fix this and she's better. Dead ass probably the most emotional moment of the comic for me, going far enough to make me teary-eyed the first time I read it. Ian Flynn succeeded above and beyond in making Cream's life in this arc pain, and it paid off with a beautiful page to cap off her and Gameroll's part in this epic. Also bring Gameroll and Cream into Sonic Rangers in some way, Sega, like just as NPCs even, please. I need more of this wholesome duo. Number 2. Super Neometal Sonic, holy shit! I don't care if it's a mouthful, it's the coolest thing in this book, it's so good! Neo is already a crazy good boss, and then he does this, and then he just quotes his own fucking theme song, and he just schools Sonic and Knuckles like they're just flies, and he's just swatting the shit out of them. If I could give a standing ovation to a moment in a comic book, it would be this, like just holy Finally, my personal favorite moment in the IDW series so far. A moment that made me unironically pog and feel excitement mixed in with satisfaction I hadn't felt in months, maybe even a year at that point in my life. Sonic and Silver go super together to end the Zombot virus. The entire build-up to this moment in issue 29 is insanity. We see all that's left of the Restoration do their best to fight back the Zombots and Zavok, and one by one falling in the process. Sonic even has to rely on metal for his own safety, and without Silver, Sonic and everybody would have been doomed. Everything, every little moment feels like it's do or die. To add more of a sense of dread, we know already that in Silver's future the Zombot virus wins. Whatever they did in the past failed, which is what gives Sonic and the reader the moment of clarity. They lost in the original timeline because they didn't have Silver. This leads into what was easily my instant favorite moment in these comics. The super combo of Sonic and Silver. After years of Sega ignoring the Chaos Emeralds and super forms, we finally get a moment worthy of the transformation. The two of them using the Warp Topaz, boosted with their super forms, proceed to not only deal with Zavok easily in a display of sheer badass power, but Silver using his psycho powers to take away all the metal virus across the globe, warping it into the sun with Sonic in the process too. We get an intense feeling of accomplishment as all the supporting cast is seen recovered and back to normal, celebrating and rejoicing our heroes. It may be short once they actually go super, but it, without contest, remains my peak moment across the comic and my favorite Sonic moment in years. It goes beyond the comic even, as Silver not only saved the day here, but his presence here saved his future. Finally, he got to save his future and it stays safe. I legit felt proud of our psychokinetic boy who'd been denied this for so long. And I can't lie, being the artismo that I am, when I saw the page of them going super, I started blasting Dreams of an Absolution on my phone to really sell the moment for myself. This, to me, is what every Sonic finale should strive for, something of this magnitude. That was my top 10 IDW Sonic comic moments so far. I'd love to see what other people's lists would look like, so feel free to leave it in the comments and I'll be sure to look it over. And I know this will go unheard, but just in case this does reach somebody on the IDW team, thank you Ian Flynn, thank you Evan Stanley, thank you Adam Bryce Thomas, thank you everybody on the IDW Sonic comic team for giving me something that gave me a little bit of levity during the worst time of my life when I really needed it. Here's to the road to 50, and may you get 100 more issues after that.